Good morning. So today we're going to cover Chatbot Connector. This is the new set of functions and methods we have created and added to our platform, to TrueConf server, to ease and actually to allow the interactions with group chats, personal chats, and channels. We are going to cover a lot of technical details. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them in chat. We have recording and we will share all the examples later with you today. As you might know, for almost 2 years, TrueConf server allows to create group chats. And with the forthcoming release, which is going to happen this month, version 5.5, we will add support for folders, channels, some other things for chat. And additionally, and most importantly, we will add support for chatbots. So we extensively reworked the API of our server and created a lot of new methods to interact with chats, and some of them will be covered. If you are interested, we will share with you the documentation. It is already ready. We can share it with you. Officially, it will be published immediately after the release of TrueConf server 5.5, which will happen quite shortly. And the idea behind this webinar is to give you the real-time demos and demonstrations how to interact with Chatbot API, how to create your own chatbot applications, and what possibilities it opens for integration between TrueConf server and your informational systems and some other systems. It could be actually anything. There's endless implementations and endless possibilities chatbots create for us. So let's proceed. I hope you know what chatbots are. It's basically an application which looks like and interacts with you like a regular user during the chat session, but it is automated. So it is a program which reads your messages and prepares automatically replies to you. It could be files, messages, images, whatever. And it follows some specific purposes, but we are here not for specific cases. We are going to show you in general how to create, how to start developing chatbot applications with our platform TrueConf server. So first of all, we'd like to tell you that the approach we have selected to enable chatbot applications with our platform is very secure. So we're not using any not secure connections. We decided to use WebSocket connection, and it has two main ideas behind. First of all, you don't need to pull and ask TrueConf server for new messages, because we have inactive TCP connections using WebSocket protocol. Actually, the TrueConf server will automatically notify every chatbot application about all types of activities which are happening with the interaction between chatbot and user and between chatbot and the group chat. So that allows us to automatically and immediately receive the new information about new messages and new files being sent to the chat where the chatbot is presented. That's really important because compared to traditional APIs, which are, we send requests, we receive a response approach, WebSocket is different. We establish the connections like a bridge, and the data follows both directions automatically. So we don't need to ask from other side of the bridge, hey, do you have anything new for me? No, we don't have to do that. The information automatically is received by your chatbot application. That's very important. That's a little bit more complicated to establish such connection compared to regular API call, but that's important for performance point of view and from security point of view, because that bridge, that connection is secured. It is only possible to establish it using secure TCP connection, HTTPS connection. So it is not possible to send any information between your chatbot application and TrueConf server in an open format over a regular HTTP connection. So that's not possible. And it is really fast, because we know that chatbot applications could be really under heavy usage. There could be thousands of interactions between chatbot applications and large user base of the installation of our customer TrueConf server. There could be channels with thousands of users. There could be group chat sessions with hundreds of users, and we have to deliver promptly a large amount of information. Sometimes chat generates more data, more information, the bit rate between client application and server than regular video conferences. That's sounds ridiculous, but it is, because we have a pikes when we send a large files to the chat group with a large number of users, when we have a lot of interactions with the chatbot application. So we take care of that. You don't have to worry about the performance. You don't have to worry about security. You only need to know how to establish the secure connection between your chatbot application and our server. And to ease the integration, we decided to create an additional service in the operating system on the server side. On TrueConf server side, we have additional service which is called TrueConf Bridge, and that TrueConf Bridge service is independent. It is connected to the database. It is connected to the TrueConf server, of course. But if something goes wrong with that service, it will never affect the performance. It will never affect the operation of the main core, the operation of conferencing and messaging core of our product. So if you do something wrong, terribly wrong with a chatbot application, it will never affect the operation of the critical communication, things like messaging and conferencing. That's also important. So we take care about it. Don't worry about any particular complications. Before we proceed, I'd like to remind you that chatbot applications will require at least TrueConf Server 5.5. It is not released yet. It will be released later this month, very shortly. You can use whatever language you prefer. We don't care. So you can ask ChatGPT, or you can hire a developer, or you can play around with your own hands. It could be Python, PHP, C++, whatever you prefer, Go language. We don't care. Actually, we provide you the protocol, which is a standard-based WebSocket connection, and we provide you the documentation about which messages, which methods could be accessed over that connection, over that protocol. And we also recommend you to use database, whatever, because when your bot application establish that bridge connection, we have to understand, we have to remember from which chat that user is from, what conversation we had with that user previously, what command he sent to the chatbot. So we need to distinguish between different chat sessions, because multiple users simultaneously can interact with the same chatbot application, and we fully support them. Multi-threaded support, so you don't have to care about that chatbot should be busy with one user. That happens in parallel, so the performance is really nice. But the database is required from your application side, because when you create a chatbot, it could interact with multiple users in the same time, different time, and we have to distinguish one chat session or group chat session with your bot from another. So you have to save some important information like chat identifier, chat ID or message ID and user ID to distinguish between them. And you have to store that somewhere, because if your chat application stop to work, it will lose all the information. So when you restart your chat application, this is very important. The chat application have to remember which conversation he had with other users. For that, you need a database. But if you try to create chat application from scratch, we don't recommend to do that. Just use our examples. We have prepared the skeleton. We have prepared the examples which you can use to create your own application using Python. And you can, of course, use light code tools like ChatGPT, whatever you prefer to create your applications. And of course, there will be a database. So that's not so hard as I describe. The difference compared to the traditional API is that before we before we request any information from TrueConf server, bridge service, we call that chatbot service. Before we send any information or send any message, we have to establish that bridge. That's important step. That's the difference compared to traditional APIs. And to establish that bridge between your chatbot application and our server, we have to authenticate. And by authentication, I mean that we have to use a regular TrueConf server login and password. It could be any user of your server, because chatbot is a regular user. It's not regular, but for other users, it looks like a regular user. You can actually use the same account to authenticate on your own in client application to change the description, profile, and avatar. but using the same authentication, Chatbot could interact with your users. So Chatbot is a regular user. And when we establish that bridge, we receive a special access token. And once we successfully authenticate, that means the login and password are correct, we receive that access token. And after that, we need to use it to establish that bridge connection. We will show you shortly how it happens. Don't worry. But once the bridge, the connection is established, we don't need to provide any authentication details. We do not need to provide access token to every call to API. Like in the traditional APIs, we have to provide authentication token with every request. We don't need to do that. So once we establish the bridge, this secure tunnel, a secure channel between your chatbot application and our server, we don't need authentication anymore, unless that connection will be terminated. And this process is called JWE token, and we will show you shortly how it happens. This is the industry standard, so nothing new here. Before we proceed with some examples, we'd like to point out one important thing. It is called parameters. Basically, every interaction in chat is a message or file. And for every interaction, we have type and ID. That's very important. So when we send anything to the chat, it is type 1 message. When we receive anything from our chatbot service, it is type 2. Type 2, this is a response from chatbot service. And ID is the sequence number. When we need to send another message, we need to increment that ID. So every new message, every new file, we have to increment the ID to distinguish between the request and response. That's important because this is the real network. It could happen that you could send one message, and because server is busy and maybe some other issues, whatever, the response could arrive after you sent another request. So to track the connection between your request and the response, we use IDs. So when you initialize the new request, you have to increment the ID, and you have to track the response for what ID you have received, because this is a very asynchronous thing that happens in real network in real time. So it could be that your request could be the response to your request could return after you sent another request. That happens. So you have to track the connection between request and response. For that, we use types and IDs as I described. So it's time to proceed with some real-time demonstrations. I will ask my colleague Anthony to share his screen, time how it looks like. So I will tell you what's going on. And the first thing we have to do, before we establish that secure tunnel, that bridge connection, we have to authenticate. We need to receive the access token we will use to establish GWE connection. For that, Anton, please go back. So please show us the post request, post the previous call. Yeah, so we need to send, please stop here. Yeah, please stop here. So we need to send, this is not a developer, this is not a real code. This is not the IDE for developers. This is the simple application we use to send requests and to show the response from our API. This is this application called Postman. This is a regular tool for developers, which is used for analysis to analyze the request and response from different APIs and services. So no real code here, just a pure data we send to the server and information we receive in response from the server. So this post request, you can see the address of our API. It is API client version 1 OAuth token. So we basically send inside that request, post request, the information that we need to authenticate as a chatbot application. We will use password as authentication method. We do support many different authentication methods. And here we have the password and the username. The password and the username of the actual TrueConf server user, because chatbot, as I told you, is the actual user. So once we send that request, Anton, please send it. In response, we receive the very important thing, which is called access token. So the token type is GWE. You can see it. It will expire in 1 year. So it will be valid for a long time, but you can adjust that period if your security regulation, if your cybersecurity team will ask for that. So we need to save that token. That's very important. So we will use this token as a key to open the door to our secure tunnel, the bridge between your chatbot application and our server. So that was a regular API call, not a WebSocket connection. So the next steps will be in secure connection. So let's establish the secure connection. So you can see that now we use a different protocol. It is called WSS, videoexample.net WebSocket chatbot. This is actually the address on your server. Video.example.net is the address of your TrueConf server, the address of the service which is connected with TrueConf bridge service, which is responsible for chatbot interactions. It works over secure 443 TCP connections, very similar to HTTPS, but we will use not HTTPS, we will use WebSocket secure WebSocket connection over that TCP port. To establish that connection, we need to provide our access token. You can see that the method called AUF and the payload token is the token received on the previous step. And when we will send that request, Anton, please send it. You can see in the response that we have received the user ID and connection ID. User ID is the user which is authenticated in chatbot application and from which account chatbot will have interactions with your users in your group chats. And connection ID, which is more important, it is actually the ID for the bridge, the tunnel we just created. If Anton, please scroll down a little bit. You can see we can see that we have successfully connected to our WebSocket location, to our WebSocket application. So now the bridge, the tunnel is established. So we don't need to authenticate anymore. And once the tunnel is established, we can send commands. And most importantly, we can receive any updates from the TrueConf server side. If someone will send any information to the chatbot, it will immediately receive response. So let's do some basic things. So let's repeat. First of all, we have received access token. We have used that access token to establish the tunnel, secure tunnel, using WebSocket protocol. And now we can send information to that tunnel and to interact with chatbot. First of all, we need to create a chat between a regular user and the chatbot. For that, Anton have authenticated in TrueConf application under different user. Please stop here. So we are authenticated using third-party account, not chatbot account, another account, and we need to find our chatbot user in the search. So let's enter the login of the user we just authenticated. Yes, please stop here. So Abe Chester is the user ID. You can compare it to the previous screen of the user we created access token for. And for that user, we now have an active WebSocket tunnel between our chatbot application and TrueConf server. So everything we send here to the chat will automatically be delivered to chatbot. We don't need to ask from chatbot application, do we have any new? So Anton will send hi message, please send it. And on the other side, please go back to Postman application. We have received a new message. You see that automatically in that secure tunnel, we have received the information about the new message ID. And you can see the payload. We see that we have received the hi message, which could be rendered as HTML. So we could use some additional styles and bold, italic links inside it. It is fully supported. But most importantly, we have received the chat ID, because when to start in any interaction with chatbot, any user, they have to send a message to the chatbot, because chatbot is not able to send message to any user. chatbot only can reply to the interaction. So we either need to ask our user to send the message in the first place to the chatbot, and after that the interaction will start, or we have to invite chatbot to the group chat, and after that the chatbot will receive access to that group chat and could have interaction there. So it is not possible to use this WebSocket connection to spam across users, not possible. So user have to start interaction first. User have to send something to the chat, and after that we will receive chat ID. That's very important. You can see it on the screen, and that chat ID we need to save. For that, we need a database. So that chat ID corresponds to the specific chat with specific user. In our case, with the user, which is authenticated in the client application we just saw. And if we need to send a message in reply to that user, now we have interaction between particular user, real user, and chatbot user. And to send the message from chatbot side to the real user, we need to use that chat ID. So now Anton will copy and paste the response, the information from WebSocket connection about chat ID to the new method called send message. And the new message is hello world. And we will use not HTML, but Markdown special signs to add some styles to the text chat. So double stars means bold, for example. And once we send that message to our secure tunnel, WebSocket tunnel, actually in the client application, we will receive the new message, and you can see it has some styling. So we have a bold and italic inside. It could be HTML or Markdown. It's up to you. It could be images, emojis. It fully supports all kind of emojis and Unicode size symbols. So we can send more messages. But Anton, don't forget to increase the ID. ID. Yeah, we need to increment. This is the new request. Yeah, now we sent the new message. So it could be any kind of emojis. Usually a chatbot always respond to the user. It doesn't do anything without requests, but it can be done, of course. But initially we have to establish that chat. So we have established the WebSocket connection between chatbot application, and inside that chatbot now established chat sessions, chat IDs between different users and chat groups, and we can reuse it later. For example, if we save chat ID to our database, if we restart chatbot application, we can use that chat ID to send messages to the chat with that user, because before that user sent something to the chatbot. Now we have a chat between us. That's really important. So the next part. So now you can see how to do 90% of the things. So we receive messages and we reply to the messages, and we can deliver all types of messages. It could be very big messages with some styling, whatever. But another very popular case is how to send file. For example, we need to send an image, let's say from a surveillance system, to in the response of some command we receive from the user. And to send the file, we need to do 3 steps. Create a job. We need to create a task on the server for our file. After that, we need to transfer the file to our server. And once the file will be uploaded, it is separate. It is not a chatbot thing. It is a regular API call. And once the file is uploaded, we receive a special ID for that file. And later, when we need to send file to the chat, we're not sending actually file. We send the ID for previously uploaded file. So let's have a look how it works. I will stop my slides. Anton, please go back and we will show you how to send files. First of all, let's create a task for file upload. The method is called upload file, and the only thing we have to enter here is the file size. So please pay attention. Anton have incremented the ID. So every time we send a new, do you remember our bridge, our tunnel? So every time we send anything across this bridge, we need to increment the ID, and that's important. So let's send that message. The file size in kilobytes is 139 kilobytes. or 139,000 bytes. So we need to specialize, we need to enter the size in bytes. So that's it. We send across our WebSocket secure tunnel, we send the request to upload file, and in return, we will receive the task ID. So let's do it. So we have received the response. And now we have a task ID. That's not very straightforward, but we actually need it. So we need to copy that task ID, temporal file ID. Anton, please go back. We need to upload task ID. We need to receive upload task ID first. Yes, upload task ID. Yes. So please copy that. So we will use upload task ID to make a call, not using WebSocket connection, but a regular API call to upload the file on TrueConf server. So we need to upload file first. For that, you can see we're using post request, not a WebSocket connection, with upload task ID. And just one field we need to enter, the upload task ID. And inside the body of this post request, we need to actually select the file. If we wish, we can also upload the preview. Preview will be used in chat as the small image. So preview could be different from actual file, but if you do not specify it, we will automatically create a preview for you, don't worry. But if you like to have a special preview, you can upload it. It could be different types of files, so preview could be required. So let's select the file. And let's create preview from the original file. And when we send the actual file, this 139 kilobytes of file will be uploaded to TrueConf server. And in return, we will receive the temporal file ID. So let's do it. We can see the response is 200 OK, so the green status. So the upload was successful. And now TrueConf server replied to us that we have a temporal file ID. And now we can use that temporal file ID to send file to the chat. So we need to increment the ID here, and we use a special method send file. The chat ID is with that user we communicated before. So chat ID is the same. So we reuse it from our database. And instead of the content, instead of uploading the file, Anton, please stop here. Instead of uploading the file, we actually telling the application the temporal file ID, which we separately uploaded to TrueConf server. That's important. So we are not actually sending files using Chatbot API. We're actually sending ID of the file which was previously uploaded to TrueConf server to send it to actual chat with the user. That's important. So chat ID is the chat we'd like to respond with file. Temporal file ID we received on the previous step when we uploaded the file, and the method send file will actually display the file in the chat in the application. So let's send that request. That's really quick. So we received the reply, and we will open the copy of application. So you can see that the file we have uploaded is now being displayed immediately in the chat with that user, because it was previously uploaded on TrueConf server. So we only told the chatbot to show for that user the file which was previously uploaded. This is how the file upload works. And if the user send back file to the chatbot application, we will also receive temporal ID, and we will use it to download it from TrueConf server. Nothing new here. But that's the way how to deal with the files. It's a little bit more complicated, but that gives us the performance. That's important. We really don't want to clutter the chatbot API service with large files uploads. They have to be done separately. That's important. So we do that in parallel in different applications, or maybe in different threads. So that's the basic things. So now we can receive files, send files, we can receive messages, we can reply to messages, we can receive messages and reply to them in a group chat. That's actually all the things we need from the chatbot application. It is also possible for chatbot application to receive messages and files from channels there. And if we grant the chatbot user the moderator privileges, that user would be able, the chatbot user will be able to send information and send messages to the channel. Because in channels, this is something new. You don't have it in your server. It will come with 5.5 version. The channels only accessible. They are accessible by everybody, every member of the channel, but only moderators can send messages to the channel. So it's kind of a role-based approach. Let's continue, and let's have a look on the real-world example of the real application. So we will close this debugging tool for APIs, and we will actually open the real code for the real application. Anton, please show us the EchoBot. So please stop here. So now you can see that we have a very simple bot. It is called EchoBot. So anything we sent to that bot, he immediately replied to us. So that's quite simple. This is the basic example for every chatbot application. So we send information, we receive it back. Let's have a look on the code, how it works. We will open Visual Studio Code. So we have a special library to ease your interaction with our chatbot API. We will share the code with you, but this application is quite simple. You can see from the line number 17 this chatbot is very, very easy. So we have just five, maybe six lines of code for EchoBot application. So you can see that we have the on line number 19. Anton, please select the line number 19. Yeah, 19. Next one. So what happens here? When any user send any message to the EchoBot, that EchoBot automatically performs a single call. It asks for send message, and that method from our library, for Python library for TrueConf Chatbot API, we will share it with you, will actually copy the chat ID content and the display style of the message. So if we send a message with some HTML, bold, italic links inside, it will in the same style, it will be replied to the user. So that's the old code for chatbot. Yeah. Let's have a more complicated example. The next one with ChatGPT. So we have another bot. Instead of echoing, instead of sending us a copy of the message, we actually send the message of the user to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT replies to us. And later, we send back the ChatGPT reply to TrueConf chat session. So we can ask anything. It could be a corporate ChatGPT application, which is hosted inside the network. It could be cloud-based ChatGPT application like OpenAI, Meta, Alibaba, DeepSeek, whatever you prefer. And this way we can provide our users the secure internal access to large language models, for example, or it could be access to your internal large language model. And there are actually so many examples where we can use chatbots. Because it could be the assistant for human resources. It could be integration with any monitoring systems. For example, administrators of the company can receive some notifications about the some metrics, performance, and availability of the services and websites, or anything inside the infrastructure. It could be applications to control some smart home things, like to enable the air conditioning, or maybe to alarm the building, or maybe to open the gates, maybe to count cars on the parking lot. It depends on you, because all those interactions are actually sending and receiving messages and files from chatbot applications. And now with the help of this webinar, you know how easy it can be done. We have prepared a lot of demonstrations in GitHub. We have a very nice documentation about how to use this tool. And this feature is free. It will automatically become available for every customer who will upgrade to TrueConf Server 5.5. And you will be able to create your own application. Just tell us what solutions you have created, so we could maybe if you don't mind, we could share your ideas with our other users because, well, there is endless possibilities with chatbots. Anton, thank you for chatbot demonstration. And the last thing to show you is the personal area. Actually, what we did is we use our chatbot. We have used our chatbot API to add access to the personal chat inside the personal area of the user. So it is now possible, for example, if you are traveling and maybe you don't have TrueConf application installed, so it is now possible to access. I'll show you. It's now possible to access your personal chat not through TrueConf application, but using the personal area. On TrueConf server welcome page, you can authenticate, and from there you can create virtual rooms, you can schedule your meetings, and now you can access files and chats. And actually, this is just a demo. This is just a demo that the API for chat interactions we have created is rich enough and have enough methods to actually copy the functions of our chat. And you can see the messages, replies, and everything is available here. So API for chat interactions is really extensive. So you can do anything with that. And the best example is that we have implemented web-based chat in our personal area of your server. Um, Some other examples where chat bot could be used, for example, for monitoring. We can see some system metrics, some parameters of systems chatbot is asking to deliver updates for. It could be TrueConf server, it could be some corporate mail server, it could be PBX, whatever. It's up to you. So it's not really hard to create such monitoring bot, and we will provide examples. So every example we show you here will be available on a GitHub account. So you could create on your own, and you can adjust. You can copy and create your own chatbot application using our example, which is much simpler than creating something from the scratch. Another example is notifications. So, for example, you can send personal notifications to the hosts about upcoming meetings, maybe uploading some files from your internal system. So it's up to you. It can be done using chatbots as well. Another example is GPT. We just showed it to you. So you can connect large language models or any kind of models. It could be image generation, video generation, whatever, using our chatbot interactions, because we can send files and images and video files, and TrueConf chat can easily play back any audio and video files. So actually we can, for example, we can parse audio files, and we can receive the text, speech to text from the audio file. So it is also possible to create such bot. Another bot is for HR. For example, when we invite a new user to a specific project or chat, or maybe this is the new employee of the company, we can welcome that user with some information. We can also do moderation stuff. For example, we can invite to the webinar the special bot, which will control the messages and files being shared in the webinar or chat you have to moderate. So it also can be done, but you have to write those applications using our examples, because the part of our product is the API. So we have all the required API calls and methods to do whatever you want in chats, and it is your business how to use them. We will share some examples I'm showing to you, but I believe many more could be created with your imagination. That's it. We just covered the most important information about how to create your own chatbots. We have seen the examples of chatbot applications, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can ask our team in our WhatsApp group, in our Telegram group. We can also answer your questions in the website chat. If you'd like to check it out, if you'd like to have the beta access to that functionality, please send us a message. We will provide you the documentation. And once again, everything we have covered will be available immediately after the release of TrueConf Server 5.5, which will happen this month, so cool, very soon. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day then. Thank you.